Imagine everything you're seeing being a lie. Imagine when you look down a deep dark hallway and see nothing there. There actually is. Imagine when you hear something during the night. It's secretly someone looking at you while you sleep, while you move around the house, while you panic. Imagine that the ghost you think is in your house isn't really a ghost. It's someone who's invisible. Someone you can't hit back. You can't fight back. And no one will believe you if you tell him he's real. If you haven't worked it out already, today's review is on The Invisible Man. This is a movie that came out in the cinema this year. It's now available to buy and keep on multiple different platforms, and there's also alternative ways to watch it. This is a movie about Cecilia and basically her husband or whatever, Adrian. Now, Cecilia runs away from Adrian because Adrian treated her poorly. He hit her, he probably did other stuff to her, and he always seemed one step ahead of everything she ever did. Cecilia managed to get away, but she always believed he was watching. She always believed he was there. To which he was. She soon finds out that she soon finds out that the man she once loved, 2 weeks after she leaves and escapes, has apparently committed suicide. The whole death in the papers and everything. Next thing you know, she doesn't believe it. She doesn't think that he is dead because he promised her that he'd always be there, always following. Even if she cannot see him, he'll always be there. And he'll always be in control. She used this as means to believe that he had managed to turn himself invisible. This then turned into a fight between Cecilia and Adrian. A fight for survival for Cecilia, and for Adrian, a fight to ruin Cecilia's life. That is the rundown of this movie. A horror movie pitched. To me, this wasn't a jump scary horror movie. This was a horror movie based off storyline. That's the whole principle. It's all on storyline. There would be nothing to this movie if it wasn't for the storyline. The concept to some people might be far-fetched, but could be possible. We always see in a load of action movies, especially any in the future, that the planes can mask themselves. Well, before a plane can mask itself, a person's got to be able to mask themselves. And I guess that's where this principle comes from. It's a legend that has been around for years, been around since about the 1940s. I looked it up, it's been around for ages. It's one of the original one of the original monsters, Hollywood monsters, was the Invisible Man. This did justice to that legend. It really did. It had me on edge. My t-shirt, I was biting, gripping onto it, because it made me uncomfortable. And I like that. I like it when a horror movie doesn't always have to be... Well, I wouldn't even call it a horror movie, I'd say it's a thriller. The best way to describe it is a thriller, because a horror movie you expect a lot more scares. This is more of a thriller for me. I think, there's not a lot of jump scares. It's more tension. You're constantly on edge every moment, and you're on this journey with her, because to be honest, is there any escape? Can you defeat someone that is invisible? This just built up so much tension from start to finish, you know, with the Invisible Man just ruining Cecilia's life, one after another, constantly building on what he did before to ruin her, to make her have nobody to go to. Because if she has no one to go to, she's more vulnerable. And if she's more vulnerable, wow, you can do what you like, can't you? You can tease, you can just control her more than you ever could if you were just standing in front of her. The word surprise now is used a lot in this film, and it's a recurring sort of motive type thing. It's constantly there. When you forget about the phrase, it comes back, and that's good because it makes sense. It makes sense to why it's there all the time. If you've seen it, you know why. If you've not seen it, you will know why. It's like the word surprise is used so often. It's just beautiful, and for me, this movie it built up its tension perfectly. The music in this, it's gorgeous. I know I talk about music a lot in films, but wow, that soundtrack, just listen to it on your own, on its own, it'll make you tense. And if you haven't even seen the movie, it will still make you tense, because that's the feeling that you get from listening. It does a lot of what great movies like A Quiet Place do, which is hardly any sound. Because the problem is, when someone's invisible, the only way to track down where they are is through sound. So she has to use what she can hear, which means if she has to use what she can hear, you have to use what you can hear, which causes for moments of silence, pure and utter silence. And that's one of the greatest ways for me to build tension, is to not have any noise whatsoever, because it makes people get that feeling of dread, because you're expecting something to happen. So when nothing happens from it, the next time you're expecting nothing to happen, bang, something happens. Over and over and over again. It's full of surprises. There's a lot more depth to the story of this movie than I thought there would be. I've wanted to watch it for a while because it got a lot of hype, and I'm glad it got a lot of hype. I don't think it disappointed. I think if you've watched this movie and you've not heard of the hype, I think you might see it better than the way you would see it after hype, because you always do. You know, any movie that has a load of hype, it could be the greatest movie of all time, but if it has so much hype, it will never be as good as someone that's never heard it. Won't appear as good as if you've never heard of it before. But it really does it justice. Now, the thing a lot of you may not know is there's going to be a sequel. I know. Surprised me too. Because I read up on it, as I do sometimes with movies. And there's going to be a sequel called The Invisible Woman. Now, The Invisible Woman was a sequel to the old ones before. And the actress is coming back who played Cecilia in this one. She's coming back for The Invisible Woman. A lot of maybe the characters that haven't died might come back, but that's a might. All I know is Cecilia's definitely coming back. I think one of the producers is coming back. One of the producers, I can't remember his name, but he basically does every horror movie / thriller, like any blockbuster horror movie / thriller that you know. He's probably worked on. If you look at his Wikipedia, you'll be able to see that. But one of the producers is coming back she's coming back. I think one of the directors is coming back, one of the writers. But surprisingly, the idea for the Invisible Woman came from the actress herself. Now, they'd all talked obviously on set about this, what to do with it, where to go, and apparently she came up with a story line that worked for the Invisible Woman. Now, obviously, if you're working on the movie, you probably know that there was a sequel called The Invisible Woman. There was also a sequel called The Invisible Man Returns, stuff like that. So they're probably in their heads thinking, right, is there a way we can do a sequel to this one as well? Similar vein to what had happened almost 100 years prior, sort of thing. In 1940s, 1930s, sort of thing. So, yeah, she's came up with the idea. It's been pitched. It's also been accepted by Universal Studios themselves. They really like it. I think one of the producers had the choice of any monster because they loved this movie, and a couple of movies he's worked on before. Universal Studios went, out of all of our monsters, you can pick whichever one you want, and you can make whatever movie you want on it. Which I think is great of Universal Studios, to see the potential that someone has and to go, have it all. Whichever one you want will help you. And he actually chose the Invisible Woman, which is surprising, but he did. So that's in line. Don't know when. Obviously, with everything going on at the moment around the world, we're not 100% sure when they'll even be able to work together on it. However, expect that in the near future. Unless something goes wrong, expect an Invisible Woman movie, in a few years. And I think it'll be great. If the actress herself has come up with some sort of storyline that works, if any of you do acting or know about acting, then to play a character and to play it well, you have to virtually become that character. A lot of actors and actresses actually play the character at home and do the voices of the characters or stuff like that while at home, to become used to just naturally being that character, Or if they don't do it at home, then a lot of the time, the whole time they're on set, even off camera, a lot of the time they'll almost be playing the character just to make sure they don't ever break it. So at every point during the movie, it feels authentic. So she's came up with the idea. I guarantee you the storyline will work, which is good. I don't like sequels for the sake of sequels, so if the storyline's going to work for it, there's potential there. I don't know how it will work or why there would be an Invisible Woman, but as long as the story works, which I'm very confident it will, then I'll be more than happy to watch it. So yeah, that is my review on The Invisible Man. I think I've gone over everything. There was a lot in this movie I can't say because there's so much that happens that you don't realise from the trailer. So I think just go away and watch it. If you don't like a load of jump scares, there's not many. If you don't like music leading up to jump scares, there's a lot of that. But it just makes you nervous, it makes you tense, it makes you uncomfortable, and it's great for doing that. So yeah, I recommend you go and watch it. It's really good. I really enjoyed it, more than I thought I would actually. I really did enjoy it more than I thought I would. So yeah, leave a comment down below what you thought of the movie. Hit that like button if you like this video, and if you're new here, please subscribe, and there's more of this to come. So yeah, that was The Invisible Man. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. See ya!